You know what happened to me this week? I was fast asleep in the bed, just comfy as all get out. It was maybe 1 o'clock in the night. I sit bolt up in bed. I heard something out in the night. I slid the window open. I take a little listen. It's a howling out there, yipping and all kinds of howling. You know what it was? It was coyotes. A lot of coyotes somewhere out in this direction. You know, I got to thinking, it'd be nice to have some portraits, some pictures of those coyotes. So I thought to myself, you want to get a good picture of a deer? Well, it's hard to do that. You got to put down some corn or some apples so they come in and you can get a nice pretty picture. Well, what do you think a coyote likes to eat for breakfast? How about sweet potatoes? If I put a pile of sweet potatoes, would that work? No, I don't think so either. So here's my trail cam. We set this up right about here. I want to encourage the coyotes to come in and get their picture taken. If I had some deer, well here's some deer, some roadkill deer. This would be perfect. These deer, the coyotes come in, they're going to have some fine dining, and this camera will if I could just say smile, you're on candid camera, that would make it perfect.
Why, hello there. Where have you been? Over at Bernie's? He's trying to get pictures of coyotes? Really? Coyotes? Here in Outworld? What are they doing here? They were all rooted out in my pappy's time. Right after they rooted out the dragons, when the men rolled out with their spears and lances. Coyotes? You don't say. What? You're saying you want to hear about the dragons in my pappy's time period? Well, you don't hear much out of my pappy these days. He's always sleeping in by the fire where it's warm and toasty. Yes. I suppose we could try to rouse him up and see what we can do there, but let me see if Pappy's awake. Pappy! Pappy! You awake? Pappy! You awake yet?
Oh, I am now.
Uh-huh. Yes, Pappy, we have some guests. Come on, Pappy. Come on. That's it. Watch your step. Watch your step. Yes, that big step right there. We were just talking about the great hunts that they had when you were a wee boy. Can you tell us more? They want to hear about it.
I don't mind if I do. I don't mind if I do. Are these John's boys?
No, they'd be far away friends.
Oh, well, you want to hear some of the great hunts. When I was a boy, a few great and terrible dragons that remained in the land. They lived in great recesses of caves, mainly came out at night to hunt. Now, we weren't terrorized by them all that much, truth be told, but some people lived in grave fear of the great reptiles. Now, great hunts would be put together by the locals. They'd gather down in the village, mostly young'uns, some middle-aged men, and collect. They'd be drinking their hot cider in the cold mornings. I was just a lad,
I played ball down there with the other youngins. I was begging for a sip of cider, sassafras tea from the paw. There were apples and fresh baked bread to be had too, if you were good enough at begging. Well, after a hearty breakfast, the men went down up. They'd be armed with bows, clubs, and spears they'd had out for the ancient woods. Ne'er touched by man's axe. Great trees, rotted out, in the hollows, down low in the big old holes. Some of these trees made good dens for the smaller dragons. If you were watchful and keen as you rode into the woods at dawn, looking around, you might just see a dragon finished with its nighttime hunting, flying low on the horizon. You'd imagine how it flied toward a great old tree with the rush of wind, crawl into the hollow tree, spend the night there curled up, sleeping away. Now, if the men didn't turn up any dragons in the woods, they'd continue till they came to the base of the mountain, that mountain that was known for its caverns and passages. This is where the big dragons lived, in halls of solid stone. And if the men discovered a dragon in the cavern, there was a big fight to be had for sure, if the dragon roused from its sleep. But more often than not, the men would stone up the entrance to the cave with the largest boulders the horses could pull. This was the surest way to defeat the dragon. Trap them in with big boulders. Let starvation do its hungry work. Over the years, fewer and fewer dragons were encountered on the hunts, till one year there lanced a small, thin, bearded dragon that raised their lances and spears and clubs to the sky, and they shouted, "The last of the dragons! The last of the dragons!" But, enough reminiscing for one day. I really looks like I need to be finding the outhouse, but it won't. Yeah. Good meeting you boys.
That's not the full story, Pappy. You forgot the part about the rabbit wars. You forgot half the story. Oh, when he needs the restroom, he needs the restroom. Well, maybe another time. You know, when I think of predator and prey drawings, I think of the big fish eating the little fish. Very simple. What do you say we try that one? Okay?
So we're going to start today drawing eating something else, a fish, eating another fish. This is the most common type of predator-prey thing that I can think of, probably the easiest. As always, we want to start with our biggest, most basic shape. I want this big fish kind of going this way, a little bit angled, and then I'm going to air draw, practice that I get a nice big oval until I sort of feel like maybe it's big enough now for there I've got it very lighty. Don't be afraid to get sketchy. Don't be afraid at all to get sketchy with this. And the tail I'm going to bring back this way. If the angle of the fish was this, angle of the tail like this, and bringing the tail back in this sort of shape, kind of maybe about like that. Now he has a very big mouth because he's opening up to eat another fish. So we want to start the mouth way back here and make it come out this way, and make the other part of the mouth come down this way. and open it up this way. And it's like on a hinge, which comes down at this angle. This angle is copied here, but maybe just a little wider here than here. And same thing here, very wide here, and kind of tapering up this way. I'm going to bring this shape up just a little bit more, possibly. Okay. And I have to think, do I like that? We're going to put this gill in right about here. No, that's looking good. And we want him to be a very angry fish, so we want to do the eye. We put the slant here, and then we put the eyeball, nice big round eyeball right here. And of course we're going to have the big eye, the pupil right about there. Okay. Now we want to put on some fin. This fin can be starting right about here. It's going to come down in this area. I need a littler fin here, kind of coming out this way. And now that's looking nice. I think I might bring this down a little bit, like a big japper jaw. Maybe let this overlap a little bit. I'm going to make this kind of play up this part of the mouth. Bring this up a little bit. A little bit of nostril right in here. Little nose. Not too much nose. And a few lines coming around here. This big gonna kind of echo this shape right here. Now we've got the big start for the big fish. We're going to do two little fish, and I'm going to put the one right here. This is going to be a medium size, a smaller to medium. Going to make it a little round fish like this. Center line for him. The direction he's going is pretty straight out. And then I'm going to make a little line here and here, like a little square. And then almost a triangular type fin coming back this way. Right there, yeah. And a big gill here. Eyeball right about here. A little pupil looking down, a little foreshortened. Open his mouth up nice and big. He's very hungry, very happy about having breakfast this fine morning. Little fin over here. Okay, bulging this up, bulging that out a little bit. And then straight out from him, we are going to have an even smaller fish. And we're going to make it an oval, sort of a plump oval. He eats pretty good himself. Doesn't mind having a little eggs that he finds, fish eggs, other type of things, and a nice big eyeball. And maybe we have him looking down like this. I'm going to just make his mouth open just a wee little bit like that. Now we have some fine basic shapes. I'm going to go in and refine these. We'll do it super fast, and we'll be back. Okay, next what I want you to do, this is unusual for me, but I want you to shade a medium gray over the whole piece. The whole piece. This is going to give it a murky quality of like water. Just shade the whole piece. This is also a little bit more in line with charcoal drawing because we have a base value, usually a darker colored paper. So I'll finish this and then come back.
So I've been spending a good bit of time just shading in and blending. Blending with a tissue is one of the best ways to go with this. We want to get the bottom part darker and murkier than the upper part. The upper part, the light is coming down into the water. Do not be afraid of getting this too dark. It's probably going to look best a little on the darker side than you think. I've gone over this a couple times now, just increasing the darkness and the murkiness. I had to re-outline some of my basic shapes for fear of them being scrubbed away. You can also blend with just your fingers and rub this. You don't want it to be scribbly looking. Now once you have your base value, which a medium gray down, we're going to go back in and start to shade, backtracking to shading. So we've done basic shapes, we've cleaned up the basic shapes, we've put down a mid-tone, and now we're just going to go in and start to shade in areas of darkness, extra darkness, and this will take a little while. Again, you have to remember, light source is above you and darkness below you. So lighter areas up here and darker areas down here, making it look round. So next we're going to actually draw with an eraser. This is one of my favorite parts, where you can use different size erasers, large pencil eraser, or this little, I call it a pen eraser, not sure exactly, but a small eraser, and begin to erase out your highlights. You can do it in a texture-like fashion, and if you get some area too light, you can always come back in and blend over it a little bit to dull it out. Let me give you an example of that. So here's a patch too much, too light. Come back in, dim this out just a little bit. And I don't know if I said before, this drawing has a lot of very dark areas. This would be a time to use a 6B pencil in your shading. Here you see a 6B, very dark, bold pencil to get the contrast that you need. Just for fun, we're going to add a little bit of color to the water. I think it's just going to bring out a little bit of a different aspect, make it a little livelier. I'm going to put in blue like this over a large portion of the background, and then come back in with some green and just mix a little green in to vary it up. So just in summary, I want to say what made this drawing sort of special or different is that after our basic shapes, we went in and we shaded the entire piece gray, which gave us the option of using the eraser as a drawing tool, making a little bit more of a charcoaly look. And it's just fun to do, to mix it up like that. Helps with the murky quality. And I would just finish up this colored pencil super fast. I add just a few more colors to it and call it good.
Well, that one turned out pretty nice, don't you think so?
good colors, and I think it looks like the fish is really going into the other fish's mouth. Yes. You know what I'm thinking? I'm wondering if Bernie checked his trail cam yet. Yeah. Hi, Bernie. Yes, it's me. No, it's not the mother. Is my voice really that high? Oh, no. How did you check the trail cam yet, Bernie? Did you get any pictures of coyotes? You won't tell me? What? It'll ruin the suspense? What? You can't. I need to know. Did you? I want to draw some coyotes. You're releasing them now? The doves? Well, I'll open the window. Yes. Okay. Bye.
He's releasing the doves. Let me get the window. Okay. So when they come, I'll be ready. We'll rip it open and see what we've got. It always takes a while. A lot longer than you think. You know? Why does it seem that all of life is a waiting game? Just waiting. For this, for that, for this. And then, one day, life's over, and all the waiting is over too. Kind of a strange thing, you know? Think on that one for a while.